Hi everyone, welcome back to another YouTube live here with me, Lilith, on the Altenew YouTube channel. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of you to pop in today, and I'm going to pull myself up on the screen. That's why I can follow you while I'm doing this live video. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of you to pop in. Come and wave hello. Tell me how you are. Maybe tell me what the weather is like where you are. And then we can get started creating something completely different, something I haven't done yet, neither on YouTube or on Facebook. Hi there, Cynthia. Hi there. It does it. I swapped it around. I'll have to give you a tour a day. I still got the same stuff in here, the same furniture, but the flow is so much better, and I can access my little cupboard here with all my stuff, so it's pretty neat, and I love it. And I can stand and walk around, which I couldn't do as much the last time, and it's just a lot more airy. Hi there, Sarah. Okay, so I'm just going to pull myself up on the screen here, just see if I can see myself. So switch. There we go, Altenew, and then we can get started. Hi there, Teresa. Hi there, Lynn. I'm just going to see if anyone else has popped in. Hi there, Cece, Meta, Sarah, Teresa. Hi, everyone. Hi there, Sue. Oh, I'm so happy you could all join me today. Thank you for sharing, Cynthia. So those of you who are familiar with our live sessions, don't forget to share while it is live, because we will pick out a lucky winner at the end of this live session, and you will get a gift voucher to the Altenew store. So can I see myself, my channel? Let me just see. Yay, I can see myself. Great. Okay, that way I can follow the comments while I am working. So today I'm going to just pop up my lights a bit because they're kind of in my face. Yeah, that's better. So today I'm going to be working with some Altenew papers, and I'm going to be creating a fun little booklet or a journal. From Belgium, but I'm in Belgium. Where are you from, Veronique? So I'm going to be creating a fun little booklet using the Altenew papers. And if you haven't noticed, we've got a huge promotion on our papers at the moment. And so this is the perfect time to stock up. Limburg Sint-Truiden. Hallo and welcome by the Facebook Live hier. So fun to meet fellow Belgians. There we go. So I'm down in the south. She's more up to the north anyway. So I'm going to show you a couple of the papers which I've pulled out. I've gone really all over the place. I've got some cardstock, I've got some pattern paper, I've got some vellum, I've got envelopes, because we've also got a promotion on the envelopes. And I'm going to make my little booklet out of this. And we're going to be making a cover, and it's going to be so much fun. I've been thinking a really long time of transitioning over to sorry, I've got something in my throat. Oh god. Okay, it's gone. So I've been thinking, hi there, Retsalia. I've been thinking of transitioning from my scrapbook layouts, which I will still do, maybe over to some travel journaling or working in a journal and sizing it down a bit, just because the layouts are taking up so much space. I have to buy albums, and the albums are huge, and I'm just filling up all the cupboard space with albums. And I was thinking maybe journals will be a lot easier just to flip through, and I can just pop them in and create a little theme. So I'm going to start transitioning over to journals. But before investing in a type of journal, I just wanted to test the size out and maybe see if I could make my little journals myself. So I'm doing this. It's inspired from a little journal I had from many years back from Amy Tangerine, and it's a journal I used, and I kind of looked at how it is put together, and I thought I can create that. A bit of sewing, a bit of paper folding, and I should be able to recreate something very similar, and that's going to be my test, but I'm going to use Altenew products. So for my cover, I have pulled out Fancy Greetings, and the newer Incredible stamp set, which you can see here. There we go. So those are going to work on my cover. I'm going to be using some antique gold pigment ink. So I will have to leave this to dry before I start sewing everything together. I won't show the sewing part on Facebook, but I will explain how I will do that. So I've got my pigment ink there. I did already prep some sewing material, but I don't think I'll get to that today, but you will kind of see the finished product but without the sewing. And I've pulled out a couple of papers. I've got a sheet of pattern paper from the Live Your Dream collection. So this is the latest scrapbook collection. It's from last year, and I've taken a double-sided piece because that's really fun. When you fold it, you get like patterns on both sides. And I'm going to use for my cover some navy cardstock from Altenew. It's this luscious color, and I'm certain the antique gold pigment ink will look gorgeous against that lovely navy blue. And as you can see, it works with the paper here as well. I've also taken out 2 sheets of vellum. These are from Altenew as well, and they are lovely quality. I've also got another pattern paper. This one is also from the Live Your Dream. The back, this one. So this is also from the Live Your Dream collection here, this one, but it's just a scrap I still had lying around. So there's a strip that I cut off, and I thought that would work really well. I've also got some of the Altenew 3x6 pattern paper. This is this lovely pink. Okay, there we go. This is another scrap that I'll be cutting up. This is from the black and white 6x6 paper pack. It's got this lovely stripe in there. And then from the Summer Garden pack, I pulled out this 6x6 sheet, which has got this lovely floral surrounding, and it's also double-sided, so you get that on the back. And I thought all these colors would work really nice together. I've got a couple of sheets of just simple white cardstock, not too thick, because I'm layering cardstock up, and I don't want too many layers because it's going to be hard to sew through. I'll probably hand stitch it just because it's going to be really thick. And I've also got a little envelope. This is one of the Altenew envelopes. I think this one is Lagoon, if I'm not mistaken, but Altenew will just have to correct me. So I'm going to use that as well. So I'm going to pop you down, and I'm going to walk you through the whole process of putting together this booklet. And we're going to start with the cover, because that's going to take some time to dry. So I'm going to start with the cover, and I'm going to swivel you down. Hi there, Anna. Okay, so if you've just joined us, don't forget to share. Yeah, you're going to see a bit of my workspace over there. Sorry about that. There we go. I'm going to swivel you to one side, move you forward a bit, and then we can start working. I hope you can see my workspace over here. So you just a bit back. There we go. So a little bit more. Okay. There we go. I think this should be okay-ish. Okay, what the top, about the bottom. Okay. So I'm going to start with the cover, and the cover is going to be in the navy blue. Hi there, Kishmara. Anna, hi there as well. I'm going to have a look. Thank you for sharing, Teresa. Yeah, don't forget to share on Facebook. So this is the navy cardstock, which is really luscious. It's a smooth cardstock, and I'm going to need a scoring board to score the middle lines. Okay, there we go. Oops. So this is an 11 by 8.5 sheet. So I'm going to score this in the middle, which is 5.5, which is just here. So this is what is fun about the scoring board, and I have a hard time scoring like this, so I'm going to kind of score upside down. It might be just a little bit easier. So there we go. So I'm just going to follow along this line here. I just go over it a couple of times just to make sure it's nicely scored. There we go. So the navy part is my cover. See how easy that folds. So this is going to be my cover with the front and the back. There we go. So I'm just going to put that to one side. I'll get it out afterwards again. There we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to add something just to decorate the cover. Nothing too overpowering, but just something really subtle, just to spruce it up a bit and not just to have this kind of bland background. So I'm going to take out an acrylic block. There we go. Oops, I had my second one out somewhere, but my desk was clean like 1 hour ago and it's already overflowing. That's what happens when you create. So there we go. So I'm going to take my Altenew Gold Antique Gold Pigment ink, and I'm going to take my stamps, which I popped over here, and I'm going to use some of these flowers. Not the largest one, but maybe this one over here. I'm going to use that one. There we go. I just want to add a bit of a pattern to that background. Yeah, I'm going to be, it's a no glue booklet. I thought of using my sewing machine, but my sewing machine is for, I use it mainly to make my cushion covers and spreads and curtains, and sewing through paper works fine, but here I'm going to have several layers, so I'm going to probably just hand stitch it, like pierce all the holes and then stitch it. So maybe I'll have to do another live session just to show you how I did all the stitching. So I've popped down my little stamp onto there. I'm going to take my eraser and just erase everything on here. There we go. Just to make sure the ink sticks on there really nicely. Okay. I'm just going to ink this up. Just going to nicely ink this up. Just tapping it on to get lots and lots of ink on there so it's nice and crisp. There we go. Thank you for sharing, Veronique. Okay, so I'm going to start stamping on this lovely blue background, a bit over the edges, just to give the illusion that the pattern is all over there. Go. So that's the first one. You can see how pretty that is on the paper, how vibrant. There we go. Just change the position a bit. Ooh. Pretty, give it a good press. Ooh. Yeah, it is lovely, isn't it? I'm going to move it up a bit so you can see a bit better. Yay, Terry! Good. Hi, Anna. Thank you, Anna. Yeah, it is really. And you're going to, when you get the pigment inks, you think, okay, it's gold, and then you use them, and they're really, really pigmented. It's really amazing. I think I'll do the whole background. That way there is something pretty on the back as well. There we go. I'm going to leave a little bit of space here for my sentiment, or for the title of my booklet. There we go. I'm going to add some to the sides as well. There we go, like this. Ooh, and I stamped onto my mat. Oh, I'm just going to take a bit of cleaner. Yeah, it's gone. There we go. Just wipe that away. Oh, Cordelia, you are lucky then. Yes, this set is so pretty, and I mean, I'm going to show it to you again. I love outline sets just because you can color them in, you can leave them just like this, and I love doing like really simple backgrounds, like with a light gray on some white paper, just something really, really simple. So I'm just going to add a bit to the sides here. Okay, and I'm stamping on my mat again. There we go. And just stamp a bit here as well. There we go. And the color is super duper vibrant. Now this is pigment ink. So once you have stamped it, I would advise you to leave it to dry a bit, because if you don't and you start like rubbing it or feeling it or taking it in your hands, it might smudge a little bit. So give it a good half hour, maybe even a bit more. So I'm going to create this now. I'll probably kind of start stitching tomorrow just to make sure that I don't, there we go. Oh, I even stamped on my ruler. Silly me. There we go. So I think I've got everything. I might just add maybe a bit to the side here just to get that idea of filling up the space here. I like it when flowers overflow. There we go. And I'm just going to clean up. I'm going to add maybe another one here. There we go. Okay, now I'm happy. So, just going to put this aside a little bit. Just going to clean this up. So I'm using my Altenew. This is the Altenew stamp cleaner, but it cleans the mat, the craft mat really nicely too. And I'm just going to clean this stamp with it as well. So I'm just going to spray a bit on here and just take my microfiber cloth and just rub it across, and everything just comes off. Especially with the pigment inks, they are just a bit harder to get them off. But you can see that's like really clean now. Oh, Megan. Oh, I do that all the time as well. When I'm watching videos, I'm going, oh, I'm going to create that and that. And usually what I do now, because I'm super duper busy and I'm afraid I'll forget all the ideas I have while watching other people create, I always have a notebook with me now, and I just kind of jot down ideas. Oh, I could do this in that way, in this color and everything. So I've created my background. There we go. And now I'm just going to add the title of my little book, of my little journal. And I love this set. This is the Fancy Greeting set. Okay. And I'm going to use the Just Because. That way, I can just do anything I want. Post, like, journal about anything I want. Just because I want to. Like if I want to make a whole booklet, and if I'm not going on holiday or I don't have many photos, I used to take loads and loads. I used to take like 120 or 30 photos a week when the boys were smaller, but now that they are teens, they kind of hide. So I might take a picture and you will only see their feet sticking out of a bed or like hiding behind a cushion. So I'm just going to make a Just Because booklet. There we go. Thank you for sharing, Fenna. I'm going to ink this up just a little bit more. Okay. I'm trying to see if I'm stamping this correctly, because I am stamping upside down. So I think this is kind of straight. Oops. Go press. There we go. Ooh, and look how pretty that is. That's stamped beautifully, Just Because. And maybe once it's dry, I might add a couple of sequins, maybe some translucent sequins, just to add a little bit of bling or a bit of dimension, just to break up that gold on blue. There we go. So this is the Fancy Greeting set. If you're looking for a fun greeting, which is a bit larger than the smaller sentiments, this one is really fun. And I love this type of sentiment because you've got the combination of the typed font, and then that cursive font. the more hand-lettered font. I love combining both. Just different sizes, different fonts. It's wonderful. So I've got my booklet ready. So this is going to be my cover. I'm just going to put this to one side just to leave it to dry, because if I start touching it, I'm going to get gold all over my fingers and I don't want to do that. So that's going to be my booklet. There we go. I'm going to pop that to one side. Now, if you are interested, you can, in the sizes, leave a comment below and I will add the sizes afterwards, after the Facebook Live, the different sizes inside the booklet. I'm not going to do all the pages in the same size. Behind the badge, I think it's Lydia. I hope it's Lydia. It's usually Lydia. Okay. So, what I have done... I write better than this. In very scruffy writing, I've written down the different sizes of my papers. So the first one was the cover, which was 8.5 by 11 or 11 by 8.5. I wrote it down here, which I folded in half. Yep, it's Lydia. And now I need a sheet. I need a sheet of 9 by 4.25 approximately. I mean, you don't have to do those sizes. If you can vary them. You can just cut them as you please if you wanted to. There are no rules. So because we've started with the blue, yeah, this is my little cutting machine. So I'm going to start with the larger paper here, and I'm going to cut that down to 4.25 first. So I'm going to open this up. So I probably won't be able to get the whole thing in the screen. So I'm just going to cut this down to 4.25. There we go. By 9. So 9. I have to use. Where is it? It's at the bottom. Sorry. I have to add a little thing. So I'm going to add my little extension here. I'm just going to pop in there. Okay, so this way I can cut off my 9. There we go. Okay. So this is my first piece. There we go. So double-sided, which is really fun. So I'm just going to put this to one side. I'm going to cut all the papers and then I'm going to put them all together. I've still got this one, and I'm going to use it again. I'm just going to keep this size because I cut off 4 and a bit. So I'm left over with 7, and I'm just going to cut off 9 as well. There we go. And I can just keep this for embellishing something else. So I've got these 2 pieces here, and I'm just going to put them to one side. There we go. So those are my first papers cut. The envelope I'm going to keep as such, so I'm going to put that to one side. Oops, zips. The piece of 6x6 pattern paper from the Summer Garden collection I'm going to keep as well because it's only 6x6. So folded in half, it's going to be a little. Oh yeah, oops. This is a paper from the Live You Dream collection. There are so many gorgeous paper in that set. So I had this little bit of pattern paper left over. This is from the Black and White collection, our 6x6 paper pads. And keep your eyes peeled because we've got lots of new ones coming soon. I'm not going to say too much, but anyway. You're so lucky you can't see the other side of my desk, like over there. Oh, sorry. Because there are lots of nice new goodies over there. And I'm going to keep my mouth shut. So this piece I'm going to pop over here. There we go. I'm going to put this to one side. I love the 6x6 paper pads. I'd love Altenew to make 6x8 paper pads. So this is another one of, so I'm not following the sizes too much because I'm using different papers here. I'm just going with what I've got left over. So here I've got a piece, I'll use the whole width. This is about like 3 inches, or maybe a bit more. It's 3.5. So I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to, I have to be careful not to exceed the cover. The cover is 5, and so is 11. So I'm going to go here with 10 maybe. Yep, I'm going to go with 10. So I'm going to do width and 10. There we go. This one is one of our 3x6 cardstock papers. This one is from Lydia. Help me. Is it from the? Oh no, I don't know. I don't know the name. Lydia's going to help me. Yes, I am an enabler. I wish I could show you these things are so pretty. Anyway, so I forgot the name of this one, but it's one of our new 3x6 cardstock packs. There we go. Oh no, you're never too late. Okay, there we go. And now for some washi tape. Washi tape, what am I saying? No washi tape. Vellum. So the vellum I'm going to keep, I'm going to cut off at 6 probably. That's another size. 6, and this is also 11, so I'm going to cut it a bit smaller. I'm going to make it maybe a 9. No, I've already got 9. 8.5. That will change things up a bit. There we go. Maybe 2 vellums. I'm going to do 2 vellums. Yep, let's go. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go with 8. 7.5. Yeah, 7.5 is good. And maybe a 9.5 here. There we go. So different size vellums. And now for my white paper. Okay. Let me see. My white paper I want to be pretty large, but not as large as my cover, because the white paper is where I'm going to be doing all my work. So I'll probably be doing 10 and 8. And I've got 2 sheets here, but I could add more if I wanted to. There we go. So I think I've cut all my papers. I'm just going to pop my cutter away. There we go. Okay. So we're going to just score all of these papers, and then we're going to try and create a fun order for our booklet. This is really easy to do. It's just a lot of cutting and scoring, and then I think the hardest thing is going to be going to be the stitching, because I'm going to have to stitch through many papers. With a good needle, that should be okay. So I'm going to score the white paper first. So the white paper I cut off at 10, so I'm going to score at 5. There we go. Oh, I'm going to do this like so, because I'm going to have a hard time scoring otherwise. There we go. So once I've scored it, it's going to be a lot easier just to fold. Should be a lot easier to fold. There we go. Let's score this one as well. 5. So with this scoring board, it's super duper easy because I've got all my measurements on there, which means it's really easy just to find out where I need to score. There we go. So this is my second one. So I've got 2 scored papers. I'm going to work on my sheet of vellum here, which is 9.5. So it's going to be 4 and I'm thinking 4 is here, 4.5, 4 3/4 is here. So I'm going to score this. There we go. And voila. See, that's so easy. And I've got my vellum. Second sheet of vellum, which is 8.5. So it's going to be 4 1/4. Hey, this scrapbooking stuff or card making, sometimes there's a lot of math involved. So now I've got my piece of pink pattern paper here, which is 6, and so I'm going to score at 3. There we go. And you can see how easy it is to fold once you have scored it. There we go. Okay, my double-sided pattern paper from the Live Your Dream collection. And this one is 10, so I'm going to score it at 5. There we go. You can see how easy that is. My little piece from the black and white collection, which is 6 as well. I'm just going to... There we go. Ooh, so pretty, look. Little book. There we go. This lovely piece of pattern paper. Just figure it out how you want to score it. I think I'm going to score like this. That way I can see my lovely flowers. Maybe I'll score it like so. I'm going to score it this way. So this is also 6. So I'm going to score down 3. There we go. As you can see, you will open it up like this, and that will be the center. My envelope, okay, which is 5 3/4. So let me calculate. That is like 5 3/4, which is 2.5 plus. That would be to that here and this. So it will be like 2 7/8, probably. I don't know if that's correct. How many pages in this booklet? I'm scoring two sides now. Oh, I'm going off. Come on, let's score down this side. I'm opening up the envelope so they can score quite nicely in it. There we go. You can add as many as you want. I'll have to count. I don't know how many I've got in here now. Before I put the envelope to one side, I am just going to take my scissors now. Okay, because if I put them in my booklet like so and I sew down the middle, I won't be able to open my envelope. So I'm just going to cut out the middle section here with my scissors. So I'm just going to take my scissors like so, and I'm just going to cut down that middle section. There we go. So that's ready. 2 more pages, and then we can start putting everything together. So here we go. This is 9, so 4.5. So there we go, 4.5. And our last one, this lovely paper, which is 9 as well. I'm going to do that at 4.5 too. You could change sizes a bit, have a larger one. So maybe I could do that. I'm going to score this at just 3. I'm going to score this at 3.5 just to show you how you can switch up sizes. So there we go. That's another one. So here we're scoring it a bit differently. So I've got all my pieces, and I'm going to put everything together. And if you want to go more classical and you want to have all the same sizes, you could do that as well. But I just wanted to play with the different sizes. So just imagine we've got our cover here with the inside open. So I'm now stamping on the outside. I don't know if it's dry yet. This is going to be our first page. Oh, sorry about that. I dropped my envelope. So I have to. So this is going to be our inside page. Okay. Then I'm going to pop in a piece of white. This one, just to add a bit of color. So if you wanted, you could put it more to the below to have it open up like so, 1, 2, and just have a variation. Or if you want to center all of your papers, you can do that as well. I'm going to kind of center them. There we go. I'm going to pop here in some vellum, which is the same size. There we go. Okay, maybe a larger, or maybe something punchy. I'm going to go in with some pink, which is also the same size. I want something a bit larger now. I'm going to go with this one. Okay, I'm going to go with the envelope. Just to kind of break up the color. So you can see that a bit popping out, which is going to be fun. Then I'm going to go in with this pattern paper, which sticks out a bit. There we go. More white. There we go. I'm going to have to cut that a little bit off. I'm going to go in with this one. I might put it over at the top a bit. There we go. My black and white. And my vellum. And I might just add another white sheet as well, maybe a bit smaller. There we go. I'm going to end on the vellum. Okay. So, oh, come on, close. So this is the little book. So you can play around with how you put these elements. See, I'm going to maybe just... Okay, the fiddly part is getting it all to stick together. And so I'm going to have to really place this nicely. So this is how you're going to open the little book, and you can add tabs afterwards. So this is the first page, your second, third. Got this here, your vellum. I'm also, what you can also do is take one of our border dies, and you can cut a border off, which I'm going to do here with the pink. That way you've got a nice border and you get a nice detail. I've got my little envelope, and I can pop something in there if I want to. Here, I'm going to flip this open, another sheet of white, then this fun paper. Here, I'm going to go with the black. I'm going to pop it here beneath just to add a bit of interest, the vellum in the middle. There we go. You've got lots of fun little layers there. There we go. Okay, the vellum inside. Okay, and then we're continuing with the theme just all over. There we go. Another little envelope here. The envelopes are really fun. You can put little like tickets in there if you wanted to. That is our little pink. So here I'm going to cut off a border. I think it'd be nice to have a fun little border here. More of that lovely vellum. Okay, and then our last piece of paper, which I'm going to kind of maybe pop down a bit so you get a bit of... And then the white. So that is the little book. There we go. And I'm going to check on my board, on my cover. I'm just going to pop that on there. Whoops. I'm just going to see if it's dry. Yeah. Okay, I think it's kind of dry. I'm going to be very careful when I'm handling it. So, oh, I'm so afraid. Okay, it should be okay. So the idea is just to pop that inside, and you can see all the papers should fit in, except one, which is going to be poking out. So I might have to just change that a bit. Oh, but it's still quite, I'm going to have to cut this off a bit. I'm going to cut this one off. But this is your booklet. And now, how do we bind it? That's the question. So, once you've got all the elements aligned in the middle, what I usually do, I'm going to try and show you. So, I'm going to have a look. I'm going to place everything on the cover. So like so, this one is centered in the cover, and I'm going to take a bit of, this is just the tape I usually use just to mask things off. And I'm just going to prepare a couple of pieces. There we go. And you're going to need something like a piercing mat. I don't know if you have that. I'm just going to get out mine. Oh, it's not over here. I cleaned everything out and now it's all changed. Oh no, it's not over here either. Put it. Dear. Oh, I'll show you with this. Oops. So this one isn't large enough, but I have a larger one. So you need something like, this is a mat I got just to do some hand stitching, and when you poke in it, you will poke through. And so I'm just going to place that here on the first part. There we go. So what I would do is I would like start with lining up the centers here, and doing this on your stamping on your mat is a very good idea, your craft mat. So there we go. And what I usually do is I just stick down some of the sides like so. That way I know the paper won't move. And here I've got all my papers in the right order. So now I'm just going to start lining them up with the centers. And there we go. And I'm just going to add a bit of paper, just a bit of tape on there, and a bit over here. Okay, and then I'm just going to work on the next one. So this one I'm going to put down a bit. There we go. And once again, I'm just going to pop a little bit of tape on there just to make sure that it doesn't move. There we go. And I'm just going to keep on doing that with the different elements, just lining them up with the centers, and just adding tape to the sides. Don't add any tape to the middle, because that won't be very useful, because you're going to go poke through it anyway. There we go. So there we go. Oh, don't need that much. There we go. My little envelope. So I just keep on doing this till all of my papers are in place. Oh, Teresa, it's just your first live. I know, there are so many lovely goodies out there. So, working on our papers here. There we go. So the washi tape just keeps them in place, nice and centered. There we go. Okay. And you always have that center line from your cover to guide you. I need more tape. So I'm not using washi tape, I'm just using painter's tape here. Washi tape would be too good for this. There we go. Okay, I'm coming to our last section. Oh, I'm going to have to cut some of this off. I'm just going to cut a piece off here. Just quickly. There you go. Yep, this is better. But I do like adding tabs, so probably afterwards, once I start working, I will be adding a couple of tabs. So I'm going to add this one a bit like so, adding some layered elements and some vellum in the middle. There we go. Okay, so now that you've got everything in place here, and just to make sure that it doesn't move around, I'm just going to add some tape so that the cover stays put as well. Okay, so I've got everything in place, everything is lined up. Now all you need to do is take a piercing needle. I used to have a gazillion of them, and now I can't even find one. Always the thing. to have loads of them. Well, anyway, I'm just going to take a thicker needle here, but a piercing needle would be a lot better because you have a lot more, you've got that nice little top. So what I would start do is I'm going to start piercing here. And I've got this ruler. I don't know where I got it. And it's got little poking holes here. So I've already got a guide. These are a bit large. I'm probably going to add another one in the middle, but at least I have an idea where I can poke my holes. So I'm going to kind of line it up with the line here. And because I've already lined it up with one of the grid lines on my mat, it's going to be really easy just to line them up. I'm going to try and see how I'm going to do this. There. Oh, there it is. That should be, oh no, that's a bit. Okay, I'm going to do it like this because I don't want to. So I'm going to start here at the top. I'm just going to poke through. I'm going to try and poke through, but I don't have my piercing needle. A piercing needle is a lot easier. So the idea is that you poke through all your holes, and then once you've done that, you start sewing through, okay, with a really simple stitch. And then I usually use a little thread that's a little bit thicker. You could use something like twine if you have twine, or something thicker like this. But this is just a sewing needle, so I'm not going to be able to poke through that. I will find my little piercing needle. It is there somewhere. I used to have 5 or 6 or 7, and now I can't even find one. So the idea is once you've pierced through everything, you sew it all together, and then you have your little booklet. So there you have it. I'm going to keep all the tape in place, okay, because now I can just kind of fold it and you do get an idea of how it will look. But now I've got all the tape in place to make sure that it doesn't move. So there we go. There we have it. I think I've walked you through the whole idea of this little booklet, this travel journal, this day journal, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to call it my just because journal. And this is going to be my little test and see if I can work on a smaller scale. And this is really great if you've got lots of scraps or you've got like papers that you don't know really know what to do with them. And it's also a really fun gift. I used to make these a lot, and I used to give them to my sisters, and they would fill them up with kind of little elements. So, or one of my sisters, I gave them to her. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm going to pop you back up and just walk you through the different products I used today, and that's it. Okay, let's go. I'm going to pop you back up. There we go. I'm back. Ooh. Oh, the page sizes. I kind of just cut them. The cover is 8.5 by 11, and the larger white papers, I just cut them a little smaller, so they're probably like 8 by 10 or 8 by 10.5, not more than that. And then all the rest, I just cut them into different sizes to have like this kind of layered look. So I can give you sizes, but I'd have to measure them all out because I'm using a lot of scraps and things like that. So if you want me to give you the exact sizes of all the papers, I will do, but I'll have to measure them up afterwards. So I hope you enjoyed this this YouTube live. I always get things mixed up. Sorry about that. So this little YouTube live focusing on all the Altenew papers. So they are on promotion at the moment. So if you need some to stock up on papers, on cardstock, we've got lovely gold paper, teals, envelopes, cards, like simple cardstock, 8.5 by 11 cardstock. Altenew has some amazing 12 by 12 smooth whites cardstock if you're scrapbooking. Anything, anything or everything with papers, they've got it. They've got some lovely vellums as well. So just go and have a look, and it's all on promotion at the moment, on sale. So there we go. I'm just going to give you the 2 stamp sets I used. So I used one of the flowers from the Incredible stamp set to create the cover, which I will show you in a minute. And I also used one of the Fancy Greeting sentiments for my cover as well, for the title. I'm just going to pull it up. So here you can see the cover and the title in that lovely gold. Okay, and here you can kind of see the inside. I have stuck everything down, but I can try and hold it up. I'll have to do everything again anyway. So I stuck everything down with painter's tape so that I could start sewing. So all that I have to do is now sew through it, and I've got my little journal made up out of lots of different sizes of papers. So there you go. Once I have sewn everything up, I will pop back here on the YouTube video, and I will add a link in the comment section. So if any of you are interested, do pop back in maybe at the end of this week when I can give you a link with lots of photos. I will pop it onto my my personal blog, and that way you can see the inside, and I will give you all the measurements as well if you want some really exact measurements of the papers. So there you have it. Thank you so much for joining me. A huge shout out to Lydia, who was behind the Altenew badge and who gave you all the links of all the products I used today. And I hope you enjoyed this YouTube live. A little bit different because not a lot of stamping, not a lot of layering, but focusing on some amazing papers we have in the Altenew store. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for sharing. It means the world to us. And we will pick a lucky winner once I go offline. So there you have it. Have a lovely evening, a lovely day, a lovely afternoon, wherever you are. And I'll see you very soon. Bye.